Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the juniors lined up, ready to get going. They're about to get their race underway in about a minute or so time. 1 minute board does go up on the board. There you can see Ross showing that one on the starting grid. He's got his lovely iron shirt on. He looks fantastic. There we go. Obviously, this one a little bit longer, 14 laps, this one. And again, the tension on the grid and in the paddock is definitely palpable. And again, Garcia, who's starting on that front row, a driver who's had, like we say, a flawless weekend. Absolutely perfect. A win in every single qualifying heat and the super heats. We'll have to see if he can replicate that in this final. It's a long old race as the timer gets itself ready. And this is a relatively full grid, 21 drivers in total. Felipe Rodriguez and the number 27 starting on that back row, row 11 by himself, no one alongside, but he's got Gabriela Santos just in front. This is Junior X30 final. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you are just joining us. Here's how they're going to line up then for their final race of the year. Aaron Garcia, Ismael Fuentes go from row 1. Marc Granada and Hugo Martí go from row 2. Kinard Tyron, or Tyron Kinard, with Hugo Manas, Raul Zanzarin and Natalia Granada going from row 4. Hector Faras and Angelina Proenca round out the top 10. Santiago Alves and Matt Corby go from row 6. Matus Reiber and Thomas Quint go from row 7. Quint has been quick all weekend, but he starts 14th in this one. He's got some work to do. Jensen Graham goes from row 8 with Miki Blascos alongside. Santiago Malma and Austin Gale go from row 9. Gabriela Santos, Mikel Malma and Felipe Rodriguez round out the 21 strong kart grid. And again, here we go then, lining themselves up. They'll get another lap or so to get themselves all warmed up to temperature. A lot of these drivers running the fresh slicks. Couple running the used that they had to change earlier on in the day. So whether or not that's a bonus, are these slightly worn tyres better than the brand new ones? We will have to see as we go into these next 14 laps. Again, the side of the track filled with spectators watching here live. Yourself, wherever you're watching from home, sit back and get ready to witness some of the greatest racing here at Campos as we get ready. Final stages of preparation now as drivers get themselves ready. All the heats, all the qualifyings leads down now to this. 14 laps to decide who is going to be our I-Ame International Champion of 2022. Is it going to be Garcia? Is it going to be Fuentes on that front row? We've seen that drivers can come from the back of the grid. In some categories, we've seen drivers come from about 10th place. Who is going to take it this time around into the final section of track, round the final corner? Garcia on the left, Fuentes on the right. Lights out, here we go. Great start from the whole grid as they go screaming in towards turn 1, and it's a fantastic start from Garcia. Holds on to that one as they go through. Granada there into second place, holds on to P2 as he streaks through. Tyron Kinard there in third place. This is a much better start for him, and he's in a good starting position here to show what he's really made of. He's made moves all the way through the day, but he's struggled to get right up to the top as he's had to work for it. But now he's got a good starting spot. He's got a great opportunity here to potentially go for that race win. Down the hill they go for the first time through 10 and 11. And the whole pack streaks through nice and clean. 3-car breakaway then. Garcia, Granada and Kinard. The top 3 as everyone streaks through There is Keenan, looks over the shoulder, sees there's no one there, and instantly they've got such an advantage here, but they've got to be careful because there's two drivers just behind them as well who have got the opportunity to close that gap up. So across the line they go. After the lap one, Garcia leads from Granada. Then it's Keenan, Marti, Zunzaren, Manas, Fuentes, Alves, Fernandez and Granada as well, rounding out the top 10. But Garcia, though, this time around hasn't managed to break away too much. And again, Ismael Fuentes is under investigation, the number 19, with the question mark over his head. Right now, doesn't worry about that, as he is just concentrating on what he's doing. Jensen Graham also under investigation as they go around, but eyes on this battle as Garcia is now starting to break away. This is not what Granada and Keenan want to see. That gap extending now, 0.3 of a second. These two need to do something about this, otherwise Garcia, and there is that something. Tyron Keenan dives to the inside, but he's not managed to get it signed, sealed and done just yet. Now he has. Granada holds on, but stays now in P3. The gap opens up, 0.5 of a second, and you see there, Keenan pointing to his head, saying, let's go, let's work together, let's close that gap up. It's increased once again, 0.6 of a second now, as they screech up the hill through turns 5 and 6. This tricky uphill section can catch a lot of drivers out, but not these drivers, as they dive back downhill once again. Keenan just trying to close that gap up. It's gone up to 0.7 of a second now. They've got to get themselves sorted. They don't want to let Garcia break away. Still, Zunzaren there in P4, just further behind. You got Marti also there. Marti, again, a driver, very, very quick. He's one to watch out for in this. Keep a close eye on the young driver in the 142. There they are on your screens. That is Mayaz and Alves. A little further behind as well. P6, P7. So gaps starting to form out there. We're on lap 4, 3 laps completed. Still a long way to go in this one. And again, is that gap coming down? Got to say, it's staying the same as Thomas Quint sets the fastest lap, 104.456. Fastest lap of the race, currently in P12. So keep an eye on Thomas Quint, that driver looking very quick at the moment. You can just see him going through the shot, but again, so close between these two drivers. Mayas and Alves. Alves just trying to find any opportunity to get past here, to get that move done, because again, he's just seeing the drivers up ahead disappear into the distance. And there's no worse feeling than seeing it. And there's the move down the inside, gets it done beautifully under braking. Santiago Alves now up into P6. Back across the start-finish line again, tucks in. His next opponent is Hugo Marti, who's just a little further up the road. Up the hill again they go through 6 and 7. And again, Thomas Quint's fastest lap of the race, now in P11. So the Frenchman is starting to make moves. He's made 3 places already. He's got Jensen Graham in front, who's had a good start to his race as well. 5 places gained. There they are on your screen as they come down again. Back with these two. Santiago Alves still in front. Looking comfortable, but nothing can be done currently about Garcia. Tyron Keenan has worked on that gap, but it is increasing once again. It's at 0.9 of a second. Garcia looking incredibly comfortable here as he leads the way. 5 laps completed. There's the gaps, 1, 2, 3, separated by quite some margin. But there, Quint has done the job on Jensen Graham, gets that move. Moves up into P10 now as Garcia sets the fastest lap of the race, 104.203. The rest of the field there, just tucking in, watching your race leader going to work. But despite the fact that he set the fastest lap of the race, Tyrone Keenard has just slightly closed that gap back up. So again, this is a long race. It is very easy to overwork the tires too soon. And again here, Alves and Marti, and Alves, what a dive there. Gets it done through turn 16. I don't think Hugo Marti knew that was coming. It came from such a long way back. And Santiago Alves is on a charge here. Currently P5. Raul Zunzaren is next on his list, but there's some real estate between him. And there, down the inside, goes the 30 of Hugo Manath. So Hugo Martin now down into P7. The 142 struggling as Garcia again, new fastest lap of the race, 104.113. He keeps increasing that lead. Every time you think he's slowing up, he then goes faster. Back here, and again, Alves, he's dropping the two behind him at some rate of knots. He's closing the gap in on Zunzaren. Gap's around 0.5 of a second between the two of them. There you can see the gap closing. Then there's this group further behind as the number 33 of Thomas Quince is now latching on to the back of Fuentes. Remember, Fuentes is under investigation in this one. We've not seen anything come through, but he's got that question mark resting on his shoulders. So here we go then, mid-race distance, and again Garcia fastest lap. Who knows how to stop Aaron Garcia? He is just driving away in this one. A force to be reckoned with, the Spaniard in the number 35, disappearing down the road. Tyrone Keenard is doing everything he can, but it's just not enough. Back here with this battle, and again, Santiago Alves and Hugo Manias, again, still line astern. Manias just following here, thinking he's got the opportunity to try and gain another couple of positions, because Zunzaren's getting closed in. He's getting reeled in now. Is Raul Zunzaren. You can see him there, the green helmet coming onto the start-finish straight now. The number 36. He's got some fantastic pace out there, but the two behind are just that fraction quicker. And Zunzaren now is feeling the pressure. Up the hill they go, through 6 and 7. You can see the different racing lines that now are coming in. Again, you would usually think that everyone would take the same line. As a little wide there goes Santiago Alves. Is really pushing that kart to its limits. And that little mistake has given Manias the opportunity to, again, just latch onto the back. Manias has a little fiddle with something down by the engine. Puts his hands back on the wheel and now is all over the back of the man who overtook him a few laps ago. Alves, despite the fact that he is hunting someone, he is also being hunted himself. Through turn 16, and again, that gap ever closing. Zunzaren now is under pressure, as again Alves gets the better exit through 17 and 18, and will try and use that slipstream to his effect. Down in towards turn 1, Quint, again, still on the back of Fuentes for P9, but has not made that move done. Manas here, he's in a tricky situation because he wants to go for that overtake, but he's thinking, well, Alves is catching Zunzaren, so what do I do here? Do I stay behind or do I go for the move? Like we always say, this is a game of high-speed chess at around 70 odd miles an hour. There's the move for Manias. He gets it done, down in towards turn 12. Gets it done, and Santiago Alves has to concede the spot. He tried to catch up onto the back of Zunzaren, but the gap wasn't closing down fast enough. It's now Manias' turn to give it a go. Marti Faras, Quince, Fuentes. That battle still rages. Quince has managed to get past Fuentes in the background. As again, Alves just tries to do whatever he can. There is that battle. Quince now leading this group of four as Jensen Graham comes through as well. Fuentes now struggling a little bit. The driver in the number 19 dropping positions. Hector Faras still there as well, the Brazilian driver. He's had a pretty good weekend. You can see him there with the orange helmet. Can they close up to the group in front? That will be the question. Remember, this is Jensen Graham's first time racing this car at this circuit. The only other time he's had practice in a Junior X30 was at PFI in the UK, but here at Circuit de Campeos is going very, very well, learning every single race. Here comes Quince down the inside, gets it done, gets past Hugo Marti. Hugo Marti now down into P7. Quince now up into P7, sorry. As we go into the final stages of this race. Fuentes gets back past Graham. Graham losing one more place. Action still the same at the front. Garcia leads by 1.8 seconds. Marc Granada as side by side here. Oh, Jensen Graham tried so hard to get down the inside there through turn 6 and 7, but just had to concede it as you go down the hill through 8. Graham again, his first time racing this car at this track. Looks to the outside as Fuentes goes defensive. The switchback move. Graham tries to get it done but fails to do so. Lines him up now as they go through 14, down the hill, side by side between the two drivers. Who's going to be the later of the breakers as they go in towards 16? It's going to be Graham, but as he outbrakes himself, no he hasn't, gets it done and instantly says, let's work together, but Fuentes says no and points that car back down the inside, and now they stay in the same positions they started a few laps ago. Back here though, nearer the front, and Marc Granada is under pressure now from Raul Zanzarin. There could be a change for the last spot on the podium with only a couple of laps to go. Zanzarin here wants an entry into that Winter Cup, and there is an entry into the Winter Cup, and it's only a few tenths of a second in front of you. Hugo Manez still there as well in the number 30. Alves still there in the 18. All closing up through turns 13 again. So fast through this sector as you scream back downhill. And absolutely flying under the braking there was Hugo Manez. As across the line, Garcia starts the final lap. He's clear by 2 whole seconds as they enter this one. And still side by side, a little further back, as again, Faras defends from Hugo Marti. Marti trying to gain any sort of positions. This battle here for P3 though still rages on. Granada still holding on to it. But Zanzarin has got the pace, not enough pace to catch these two. Tyron Kinnard still there in P2, he's done a fabulous job. 3 places gained. But it's just not enough to catch this man here in the race lead, Garcia, who has been a dominant force all weekend. The number 35, the Spaniard, on the Birol ART chassis, out of the final corner, Spain's Aaron Garcia wins International I-Games here in 2022. Aaron Garcia takes the win. A dominant performance. No one could touch him all weekend. And Tyron Kinnard comes up to congratulate him. And again, what a young driver. What a talent. The young Spaniard with a bright future ahead of him. And again, being congratulated there by Hugo Manez, the number 30, as they come side by side. A brilliant performance. all weekend. And Aaron Garcia, absolutely perfect weekend. Scoring 0 points, the lowest you could score, winning absolutely everything. And now he slows all the way down. He lets the whole field overtake. As there's a look then at the provisional classifications at the end of Junior X30. Aaron Garcia takes the win from Tyron Kinard. Marc Granada takes third from Hugo Maas in P4. Rausenzaren takes P5 from Santiago Almes. And Thomas Quince